Tell her, you have to be healthy to have a good life. Oh, here's another thing that we have to have. You got to be healthy. You have to be financially secure, don't you? I mean, you have to have at least enough money to live, right? In a decent place, and get food. And actually, if you have a little extra money so you can do a few things, right? Aren't those perks? Don't you have to have financial security in order to really have a good life? I don't know. Why don't you ask Mother Teresa whether you need that? Hey, Mother Teresa, how big does your bank account really need to be in order for you to have a really good life? She had nothing, or very little, gave up what she had, and she ended up working with the outcasts and the lepers in India and forged one of the most substantial, meaningful, powerful, influential lives of our generation. Well, okay, maybe you don't need those things. But you know what? Here's something you have to have. You have to be successful, right? Don't you? I mean, you need to kind of pick a path, a career, or whatever you're going to do, and then you have to be really good at it, and you have to succeed. Because apart from success, you can't have the good life, right? I don't know, why don't you ask Dave Ramsey? Oh, I know, yeah, there's a great example. Radio show, books, Financial Peace University, a millionaire. You know the story. Early in his middle 20s, he was a real estate tycoon. He became a millionaire, had over $4 million of real estate holdings. But, he did it through some kind of not so wise borrowing practices. And when the banking climate changed and notes were called in, he could not pay. He had to declare bankruptcy. He lost his business. He was driving a $200 car and eating ramen noodles because he had nothing. He was a failure in his late 20s. With nowhere to go and a huge stigma. You see, Dave Ramsey, you have to be successful. If you fail, if it collapses, you can't. Tell that to him. Or how about this? If we really want a good life, it's got to be trauma-free. Doesn't it? You can't have any of those really severe blows that just kind of scar you, forever. And it's horrible, we hurt when we hear people have that happen, but if that happens, your chance of a really good life is pretty much gone. I don't know. Why don't you tell that to, I'm going to call him Henry. See, he's a friend of mine. You hear Henry's story, and it goes pretty much like this. He was born in a small rural community to parents who were kind of disgusted that he was born. He wasn't so much treated as a child, but treated as an animal. He was given a box to live in. And food was put in the box just like you would put food on a tray for a dog. He would go days and weeks without one word or one touch from his mother or father. He grew up thinking he had absolutely no value, that he was a mistake, and that he was completely unlovable. Talk about a scar. But Henry, through a series of unusual but sovereignly directed events, came into a relationship with Jesus Christ, and things began to change. And now he is married, has an adopted child because he has a heart that breaks for unwanted children. I wonder why. Last I heard, he and his wife spend their time working in children's ministries to help all young people know that they are loved and valued by the God who created them, and that there are no mistakes. You're on purpose and you're precious. Would we go to Henry and say, you've got to live a trauma-free life in order to have? Tell that to him. See, the bottom line is no matter what we normally think of that really needs to be in place in order to have a good life, we could think of people we probably know that don't have that, and their life is good. And Jesus is saying, if you want to follow me into the good life, you've got to abandon all of your notions on what the good life looks like, how it has to unfold, if it's really going to be good. See, as near as I can tell, there are 3 reasons why this is so incredibly important. I would put the first reason this way. It's because believing these assumptions will misdirect us. If we think that a good life means we have to have those things, then we're going to end up trying to pursue those things with an intensity that might keep us from pursuing things that actually are necessary for a good life. A second reason why I think we do this is losing these assumptions will shatter us. Is we really believe we have to have our health, or we have to be trauma-free, or we have to be financially secure, or we have to be successful. If we lose that, but believe it's necessary for a good life, we will be so shattered we'll have trouble picking up the pieces and carrying on. Do you know what? Yeah, this is sad. I know why it's prevalent. But it's almost as though in the Western church, in our culture in Christianity, Jesus has become like an app on an iPhone. You know, you see the iPhone commercials? And what they do is they go, you want to know where the closest sushi restaurant is? There's an app for that. It's a program you can download. It will tell you exactly where all the restaurants are. You want to take a walking tour of France? There's an app for that. You can call it up and it'll tell you where to go in France and what to see in the story about it. It's like there's a software application you can put on your iPhone that will pretty much take care of whatever needs you have. And we almost look at Jesus in our culture as a nice app to add to our lives. Hey, you know what? I need a spiritual app. I got Jesus. Therefore, if things ever get bad, he'll comfort me. And if things get rocky, he'll make sure nothing bad happens in my life. And Jesus is that app that I call out whenever I need him in case it looks like I might be losing the good life I want, and he'll protect it to make sure I get it. Jesus never said that he had come in order to help us realize our dream for our lives. He said, I have come to be your life. And we have to abandon these assumptions on what the good life has to look like. It has to unfold this way. Because if we believe them, we'll follow them too intently and miss what we need to be doing. And if we lose them, we'll be shattered and can't pick up the pieces. Maybe this is the greatest reason of all. Rejecting these assumptions will free us. Do you know how free this is? Here's what it basically means. It means no matter what happens to you, a good life is still possible. You say, oh, you don't understand. I went through this trauma. My family fell apart. My spouse left me. A good life could look like that. Oh, man, I made such dumb financial decisions. I'm just shattered. I'm ruined. That's okay. A good life could look like that. No matter what you've encountered, no matter what you've done, no matter how things are falling apart, that does not preclude you from having the good life that Jesus desires for you. No matter what has happened to you, that can be a part of a story that ends with a good life. She said, you want to follow me to the good life stuff? Just abandon your assumptions on how life has to work, what the good life looks like. And then I think the second really big point that he makes, I put it this way. We must use up our lives for God's purposes. We've got to use them up. He said this, he said, if we try to save our lives, then we'll lose them. But if we'll lose our lives for his sake in the Gospels, we will find it. If we lose our lives for his sake in the Gospels, we will save it. If we lose our lives for his sake in the Gospels, then we will end up with a life that's sound, healthy, whole, satisfying, meaningful, wonderful, good. We lose our lives for his sake in the Gospels. What on earth does it mean to lose your life?